I've been writing a lot more songs lately, which is a good thing, but the problem I run into is organizing my sessions enough and actually turning these ideas into finished productions. In the past, I would open up a session and I'd sort of figure out where I was, what I did last time, and then what I needed to do this current time. And that kind of worked, but I would waste a lot of time. And with multiple songs, it's easy to get kind of overwhelmed with where you are in one project versus another project. So what I decided I was going to do was get organized. I was going to create a production checklist, and its job is to help me keep track of where I am in each particular song, what the next step is, and just help me stay on track. So in this video, I want to share with you that checklist and show you how you can use something similar or mine to get you from an idea in your head to a finished recording. So it goes without saying that before you can start recording your song, you have to first have a finished song. I used to make the mistake of thinking I could just open up a session and kind of write in the DAW, which it can work, but it's kind of inefficient. And typically the process is you write the song first, and then you bring it into the studio and you record it. So if you're still in writing mode, you're still working on your song, or you're stuck in the middle of a song and can't finish it, I made a bunch of videos about finishing songs, how to get clarity on that, and give you direction in your writing process. So I made a playlist. I'll link it up here for you. You can check that out. Okay, so assuming you have a song written, the first thing I would advise you to do, and this is a step on the checklist, is to put your song on what's called a lead sheet. So a lead sheet is basically a map of your song, and it contains the song name, the writer, the chords, the lyrics, the sections of the song, verse, chorus, bridge, all that stuff. And they're just really handy to have if you're ever working with a collaborator, a bass player, a drummer. You can share that with them. It's also kind of a record of your song too. So if you come back to it a year later, you can grab that lead sheet and it's right there. Everything's written down for you. And that pairs excellently with your finished recording. And it doesn't need to be anything fancy. It can be whatever works for you. I tend to use a Google Doc or something like that so you can share it with people. They can comment on it or add to it, suggest edits and all those things. One thing you probably want to add to your lead sheet is tempo and the key that the song is in. I used to kind of just take these for granted and just assume that I knew them, but writing them down is actually really handy, and it just makes production a lot easier because it takes that burden of having to figure it out in the session off your plate, and you can just get the BPM set in the session, know what key it's in, and there's no more guesswork. So highly recommend you add those things in there as well. Okay, so once you've got your lead sheet with the track name, the chords, the lyrics, the key, the BPM, everything's there, you are now ready to start recording a scratch track. And I made a video last week about recording a scratch track, so you can check that out. I talk more about why you'd want to use one, how to go about doing it. I even record a song in the video. I show you how it's done. I mean, it's not a mystery. It's pretty simple, but if you're not sure about that, check out that video there. But in short, the reason why a scratch track is really handy, it's kind of like a blueprint of your song or a sketch of your song that you then use as your map or blueprint to build your production on top of. You can send it to a drummer. They can take it into the studio with the click in there and they can record drums to it. If you're programming your drums with MIDI, having it to a click track, having your song to a click track makes it a lot easier to lock in the timing of that, other virtual instruments. And you can use it to mark the structure of your song in the DAW. You can kind of say where the parts start. And it just gives you kind of like a high level overview of your song before you start doing the rest of the checklist. And realistically, you could just stop there. You have recorded your song in the DAW. You've got a song that is mapped to a click. You could mute the click track and export the scratch track as it is, and now you have a recording of your song. And that's totally valid. You've got a record of your song, you've got a lead sheet, and you can just call it a day. But in our purposes here, we want to make a polished sounding production. I actually used this exact process with a recent client who came by to record a song with me. One of the first things we did was figure out the tempo. He had already figured out the key and it sounded good where it was, but we wanted to lock in the tempo. Once we determined that, I had him record a scratch track with the metronome going, and that became the basis for the song. And from there, I started to program in virtual drums. So there's a lot more to this checklist, like recording bass, editing it, comping tracks, additional production elements, recording vocals, mixing, etc. For the sake of time, I won't be covering that all today, but in future videos, I will be sharing more of these processes in actual songs that I'm working on. So if that is something you want to stay tuned in with, make sure you subscribe to this channel and come back and see those videos. And if you want a copy of this checklist, the full checklist, I'll put a link in the description. You can drop me your email and I will send it to you for free. Learning music production by yourself online, trying to watch YouTube tutorials or read articles on websites. Do people still do that? I think they do, but it can feel daunting. It can be overwhelming, which is why I'm excited to say that I have a little community I've started called Song Farm. And it's basically a group of artists, music producers, songwriters who are trying to demystify the process, learning from people who are a little more experienced. Every week we meet online to share what we're working on, learn production, learn songwriting, and actually move our projects forward as a community. It's a really cool spot. I just opened it up and we are still growing it. So if that's something that you are interested in checking out, I will leave a link for Song Farm in the description as well. And if you've got a song you're working on and you'd like to work with me directly and work on the song together, maybe get some production help, help with arrangement, mixing, whatever it may be, you can also work with me directly. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. All right, thanks for hanging with me. I know this was a bit of a quick little crash course in that checklist thing. More to come. If you have any questions, leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, see ya.